Hey! Is the noon train on time?
Supposed to be.
Feels like it's time.
Fair enough.
BBN, Jack Frost. What's up, party people? How's everybody doing? I'm hoping everybody's having a beautiful day. We got a lot to talk about. First thing I'm going to do is apologize about yesterday. So I took a nap, apparently, and my nap turned into, you ever take one of those naps and you almost wake up tomorrow? Basically, took a nap. I did not know how exhausted I was. Basically, almost woke up today. I need one thing over here because I was a little bit running a little bit behind. As y'all can see, that we're a little bit late. I'm running a little bit, but we actually have a lot to talk about. And I spelled defendant. I forgot one of the. That sucks. We're gonna correct that also. But I actually have a lot to talk about today involving Diddy. And actually, shout out to Tissa Tales. Actually, why I was she basically just said something that we had previously had spoken on, and that was basically we're gonna get to this, but if you recall, there was two charges. Brendan was charged with. There was actually two charges, and what ended up happening was, even though there was two charges that he was charged with, charges went away. I actually was in here talking about it at one time, and I video on it. I don't know if we did. I believe it was a video that we had did on it, and somebody pulled up into the comment section and was like, "They just dropped the other because it's not a crime in that particular state." Yeah, I do understand that these were federal charges, correct? Just so we can be clear, these were federal charges. These weren't just regular charges. These were federal charges. So to say one of the charges was dropped because it's not illegal in that particular state. It was federal charges. And this is what I mean by often we get people, they don't really know what they're talking about, but they want to be a part of the conversation so badly that they just say anything. And then if you be like, you're wrong about this thing, they be like, but it's my opinion. And I'm not trying to say I can't stand those guys, but I'm just going to be honest with you. I can't stand those guys. I can't stand people that try to hide behind being wrong as something being their opinion. Okay, so you don't know what you're talking about. Instead of just saying, I don't know what I'm talking about, they say, oh, but it's my opinion. But we're talking about factual information. We're not talking about things that are opinion-based. We're literally talking about things that are fact-based. Literally, just so we can be clear. So that doesn't make any sense. And y'all bananas. With that being said, let's give a shout out to the first person that pulled up into the chat already before the show even started. Shout out to Jet Lee. Salute my brother. Hope everything is going with you and yours. Somebody just hit me on Instagram. See what that is real quick. Shout out to all of the people who support the platform. Y'all holler at me all the time. Y'all hit me up on Instagram. Y'all send me good vibes, good energy. Shout out to all of you guys. I know I give a shout out a lot to the people who donate. But also just shout out to the people that, pull up. They be like, yo, Jack, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Shout out to you guys also. Definitely all of the shout outs. Let me move this tab down real quick, and then let's get to this conversation. What up, Jet Lee? What up, Brandon Washington? What up, Jet Lee? What up, Brandon Washington? Hope everything is going well with you. I want to be clear about something, and I don't want there to be no misunderstanding. One of the reasons why this particular situation is important, what is currently going on with the individual that has decided that they're going to work with the government. Let's just be clear. They're working with the government. This is not one of those, they're working with the government. Let's just be clear. They are 100% working with the government. I dropped a, hold on, let me see. What I was trying to explain before when we did a video was that there was 2 charges that he had. They dropped one of the charges. Now, I wasn't 100% sure why they dropped the charge, but obviously the reason why I would assume that they dropped the charge is because they were in negotiations with him and his lawyer. There's no other reason for them to drop the charge. So there was 2 charges against Brendan. One of the charges were dropped. Now, after hearing shout out to Tissa Tells, what she had to say on it, I 100% understand why one of the charges were dropped. They're changing. Well, the deal that they decided to give him basically was, we're not sending you to jail. You aren't going to jail. But what we will do is we're going to send you to a program. They do this often for various different reasons. But the argument here for why this is an acceptable response to the charges that he was hit with is that he doesn't have a history, or this wasn't a violent crime. He doesn't have a history of violent crime. Also 9 times out of 10, what they're also going to say is that he has a drug problem. Copy? They're 100% going to say he has a drug problem, or he has an alcohol problem, or he has some kind of behavioral problem. And by doing this, what you're actually doing is you're helping him because this individual needs help. They don't need punishment. Just so we could be clear. So Sean Combs, accused drug mule, was arrested in the Miami airport. His name is Brendan Paul. He was arrested at the same time that 2 of Diddy's I'm about to say something. 2 of Diddy's homes were raided. Now, I got a question if anybody has ever thought about this. Anybody ever thought about he was probably working with the feds even before this happened? Has anybody thought about that? That he already had been working with the feds? I don't know if anybody thought about that. That this is all a game. This is all a charade. I'm going to say something that the government hates. The feds, the police, they all hate. And this is something Akademiks did, and it's going to bite them in the ass. They hate when y'all try to pretend like you're smarter than them. Many of these police officers, if not all of them, especially when you reach that plateau in which they've reached, they take their job extremely seriously. They don't like to hear people who they believe to be guilty of a crime say things like, they don't got nothing on me. There's not a crime they can prove. They don't like to hear that. Because by you saying that, 1, you're insinuating that they're incompetent. And 2, you're literally saying that you're smarter than them if they believe that you've actually committed any of these crimes. This is not something that they like. That's one of the reasons why your man, I believe, DJ Akademiks, made his situation worse. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Like we're going to talk about Drake leaving America a little bit later. So Just so we could be clear, there was cocaine charges, and there were also marijuana candies that he had. The marijuana candies is what I believe they took away, and I'm assuming that they took that away before people were trying to say that they got rid of that charge because it's marijuana is legal. This is federal. We're talking about federal. We're not talking about state. I believe they most likely took it away is because of all of the marijuana that he probably had, the candies would have turned it into trafficking. While whatever was the amount of cocaine he had, they could have said it was for personal use. And if they could say it's for personal use, that changes the charge. Whereas if they were saying that he was taking these drugs from one place to another in order to sell them, that creates trafficking. If he was taking these things from one place to another in order to give them to somebody else, that means trafficking. Brandon Washington says, they make a few on bulletin boards on these people sometimes, and they're just looking for something to actually pin the whole thing on them, not just the small stuff. Agreed. He also says, you can't cross state lines with cannabis in current federal laws. He meant laws. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. So for the people that's saying, well, weed is legal, that's not the way that works. Federal laws and state laws are different. That's not the way that works. His name is Brendan Paul, by the way. He's 25 years old. I'm under the impression, just so we could be clear, that there is a good chance that Brendan Paul had already been working with the federal government. I'm under that impression. I do not think that this is one of those situations where they just snatched him up at the last moment and then they got him somewhere. I'm under the impression that he was already working in some capacity for the federal government. I don't think you move in on anybody that you're accusing, like you're accusing Sean Diddy Combs, the things that they're accusing him of. I don't think you just move in on him without having a man on the inside. So I say all that to say this. Remember how DJ Akademiks the other day said, if I go down, everybody go down. Guess what, DJ Akademiks? They don't need you anymore. I'm going to say that again. Guess what, DJ Akademiks? They don't need you anymore. If they ever needed you. You see, when you say things like that, that don't make the government say, yeah, we got somebody to help us. That makes the government say, you know what? We're going to put his ass away too. He just created a challenge. Brendan Paul, as far as we are hearing, what do you mean by that? The few, I don't understand. Brendan Paul, as far as we can tell, was a very close confidant. He was the main guy, allegedly, that was in charge of going and getting the drugs, allegedly, for Sean Diddy Combs. So that means that he has inside information on basically everything, or at least on enough to put him in jail, at least for the drugs. Now, why do I say that? You know, they have his plane flagged numerous times, flying to and fro, Sean Diddy Combs' plane, flying to and fro without him on it, but with Brendan Paul on it. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. Allegedly, the feds has Sean Diddy Combs' private jet flying to and fro without him on it, but with Brendan Paul on it. And it's going places and coming back at a different weight. Whatever they already have on Sean Diddy Combs is big enough that T.D. Jakes stopped even being a pastor. He left the church. Now do you see why nobody wants to speak out in protection of Sean Diddy Combs? Now do you see why all of these people who he called his friends is quiet? 50 Cent said Jay-Z not coming outside for nothing. $50 Cent said Jay-Z not coming outside for nothing. He's just decided he's an inside cat. Something to think about. We actually have a lot on DJ Akademiks today, by the way. This is just what our lead is. So I want to be clear about something. I want there to be zero misunderstandings. This dude, Brendan Paul, if we are to believe he's who they are purporting him to be, has implicit information regarding any alleged crimes that Sean Diddy Combs could have committed while he was working for him, which was about 2 to 3 years. If he's in charge of the drugs, that means he knows who they were drugging. If he's in charge of the drugs, then he knows how they was administering the drugging. If he's in charge of the drugs, then he knows whether they were drugging people or not. Also, just so we could be clear, besides all of the drug stuff that he allegedly was involved in, he also was allegedly one of the people that would get the sex workers. So he has implicit information on the sex parties, the alleged sex parties. I'm going to tell you something I hate. I hate when, you have a person in our community that is accused of terrible crimes, not just, normal crimes like they're trying to feed a family or some shit, but they're accused of terrible, 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 some of the most horrendous crimes somebody could be accused of, like in the Sean Diddy Combs situation. And then you got other prominent members of our community saying, people love tearing down the black man. Why y'all so quick to tear down the black man? Why are you so quick to ignore the cries of the children? Why are you so quick to give a man a pass just because he's black? Shouldn't that even be more of an onus put on treating your people, the people that are like you, well? Just asking. Shouldn't we hold people to a higher standard of how they treat their own? Yes, treat everyone well. But shouldn't we hold people to a higher standard of how they treat their own? These people that individuals keep saying you're trying to tear a black person down, almost all of their crimes are committed against other black people. So you want to protect the person that is allegedly terrorizing the black people more than you want to protect the possible victims. I need an explanation. What's the doom saying? Brilliant. We have a vote up. Do you think that Brendan Paul signed a deal to... I'm about to tell you what the deal is. You might want to wait. Still in the water. July 27th. Pull up. There's going to be a live lagging. The DJs is going to be there is DJ Pleasure, DJ Pleasure. All right, we lagging. I had to take a couple. So I was wondering why people couldn't stay in the room. I'm assuming because I'm having my connection on this side. In any regard, shout out to T-Moto Productions. Pastel in the Water, June 20. Pastel in the Water, June 27th. There's going to be a performance by Christopher Williams, and DJs that are going to be performing will be DJ Pleasure P, DJ Ty Boogie, DJ Mina, and DJ Mustafa. Those are going to be the DJs that's going to be on there. There's going to be multiples going to be on a boat, and we're going to be out there doing those things. And this is the contact information. Team Motor Productions. Like putting the contact information in the chat, please do. Let's get back to what we're talking about. I want to be clear about this. I said June, my bad, July. Shout out to John B. My bad, I said July. I said June is July. Well, I tried to show the damn card also, by the way. I'm like, it's up there and shit. July 27th. Shout out to John B. I'm just gonna probably make you a spot, so that'll just be easier. So I don't have to say it every time. I might just make you a spot, so I don't have to say it every damn time. Shout out to John B. Salute. He says, "Good morning, BBN." All right, back to what we're talking about. And please, if anybody has anything that they want to say regarding this, please put it in the comments. So I want to be clear about something. While you're making your decision on whether you think this dude is actually going to be a witness against Diddy or not, he's not going to jail. He's doing 0 jail time. They're going to send him to a program. They have decided jail is not for him. They're sending him to a program. How many people you see come off the plane with drugs of any kind, and they send you to a program? If you think dude is snitching, we already got a poll up. Hit the poll, but also you can drop some thoughts in the chat. They sending them to a program. In my opinion, Diddy has been done. He's finished. He's going to prison. That's why I found it funny that DJ Akademiks was like, if I go down, you all go down. How y'all friends with that nigga? Like, how were you friends with that guy? Like, how were you friends with him? Like, how is anyone friends with this nigga? If he goes down, he's taking everybody with him because he fucked up. So all of these other people have to figure out a way to get him off because he fucked up. So he's going to take everybody down with him. Also implying that there's a ton of other people that you can take with you. And I bet you these people were just so happy to tell him about the crimes they were committing. They were just so happy to share. I'm telling you, because that's how a lot of these people are. They be so happy to share whatever crimes they commit. And because everybody want to show everybody else about how tough they are and how whatever the hell that they are. So they be so quick to share their crimes. Y'all shared your crimes with DJ Akademiks. You're done. 9 times out of 10, the reason why they shared the crimes is because they needed help. They think that he's a great media guy. He's not. He's just a liar. There's a difference. Allegedly. About the lying. There's definitely a difference between being a good media person and being a liar. Allegedly, he's a liar. Just so we can be clear. Y'all ready to talk about Act for a moment? Y'all ready to talk about Act situation for a moment? You could always double back to this guy, Diddy. I think he's screwed. Also, Why in the hell would Diddy's son come out with the song that he just came out with? You know how pissed off he most likely made whatever the Homeland Security. Those are the guys coming after them. You know how pissed off he most likely made Homeland Security? They probably, the people who fund Homeland Security, probably increased their funding for this particular operation off the strength of that. If you know, you know. They probably increased their funding. They probably heard that whack ass song and was like, we're going to increase your funding. Dudes is weirdos, fam. Give me 1 second. Dudes be weirdos, fam. They just doing anything. Any damn thing. They not even thinking. I told you Drake was getting bad intel. And don't be surprised when other people start going down with him. When some of those other people that stand next to him, that he be doing podcasts and shit like that, people that cover him on YouTube, don't be surprised when some of them start going down with him. Don't be surprised. Remember, these guys are under the impression that they can do whatever they want to do and then get on the internet and lie about it. Because they've gotten on the internet and lied about so many things previously, and it worked out the way that they wanted to. So these individuals really think that they could get on the internet and lie about whatever they want to lie about. You want to know something I found interesting? Did y'all see that Wack 100 was either fake about the fight, Poetic Flacco, or real about the fight, Poetic Flacco? I don't know. But have you ever looked at Poetic Flacco before? Wack 100 might have been sending a signal to some people to stay away from that nigga. He next. That's what Wack was doing. So now he don't got to get on the phone and tell niggas to stay away from that nigga. Where it could be heard by the police. Where it could be picked up by somebody if anybody's under any kind of investigation. Wack don't got to do that. He did that shit live on camera. So now people know, stay away from Poetic Flacco. Look at that nigga eyes, fam. That's all I'm going to say. That act right hand man. That's act right hand man, ain't it? Look at that nigga eyes, fam. His eyes, his face, all that. I don't think people be knowing how these perverts look. They gotta look at them, fam. They gotta look to them, fam. They gotta look. Act got the look. Poetic Flacco got the look. They gotta look to them, fam. A lot of these niggas, I don't want to call out any particular Got the look? Now go look at a picture of Poetic Flacco. Come back and tell me. Hold on. I'll do you one better. Give me 1 minute. It's 2 Ks, all right. But however you spell the nigga name. Look at this nigga, fam. Hold on, I'm gonna get snatch the whole image. Too small. Hold on. How could it should be? Did I even look at the damn size? Look at that shit. That shit should not be too small. The fuck? Part of my language. It must be compressed. Hold on. Look at the change. Look. This is a older picture of the nigga. Look at the fucking, you can see the change. The change. Can't even get the damn. Snatch it up. And the nigga shaped like a woman. I ain't got time for these niggas, fam. This is too much. Sheesh. Ice Spice is just fine, fam. She's just fine. What in the hell? She's just fine. And she plays sports, oh Lord. Part of my language. Look. Like you can see, the images are so small. Changing, fam. I want this image because this image basically is signifying what I'm trying to explain, but it's not large enough for whatever the reason is. Maybe I gotta wait for the bitch to render. That shouldn't be a small file. Hold on, I hit it again. Okay, so look at this image, right? Look at how the nigga looked there. I see that shit. Hold on. Let me switch out. I'm gonna show you. Hold on, I throw all of these bitches in there. Part of the language. All right, hold on. Let me show you this. I did not mean to hit stop screen. That was an accident. All right, look at this. You see how he looked there? Yes, younger. I get it. You understand what I'm saying? Younger. I get it. Hold on. Let me make this a little bit larger for y'all. I just really want to just nail this home so you can understand what I'm saying. Y'all niggas is always pointing fingers at niggas being weirdos. It's not weirdos. But then when there's actual weirdos around, y'all act like y'all don't see them. Now look at this dude, fam. Look, that's Poetic Flacco at whatever the hell age he was at in, right? Now watch this. These are all allegedly, by the way. I'm just telling you my opinion of the situation, basically. I don't know if this dude's done anything with anybody about anything. Can't really see the face that well because the damn image is too small for whatever the reason might be. But look at this nigga face now. Like, you can't see the demon in him? Allegedly. Like, how do y'all see the demon in people? I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. Now, I just showed y'all image. I'm going to show y'all another one. Just is not allowing for me to grab it the way I want. I don't understand how y'all don't see it. Y'all be out here accusing people of shit that ain't been doing nothing, has no plans on doing nothing. That are not even a part of the curriculum of who they are as a human being. But y'all have these other individuals that it's so obvious, or you can see it in them. And y'all just ignore the fact and go bother fucking normal niggas. Just go look for yourself. I don't know. I can't, how do you say? I can't get the resolution right in order for y'all to really be able to see what I'm talking about. But anyway, Wack 100 went at the dude. I think Wack 100 was letting niggas know get away from him. I think it was staged, but not really. Shout out to Latoya Hicks. How you doing? We talking our shit this morning. Shout out to John B with the $10 drop. He says, yeah. John B pulls up to the saloon. He says, screw those chomos. We're going to put all of them 6 feet under. He walks in the building. He has a shovel on his back. He has a shotgun on his waist. And he got his 6 shooters right here tucked inside of his trench coat. He said, point them out to me. We're going to put all of those chomos 6 feet under. Shout out to John B saying, screw the chomos. Screw these dudes out here that's giving women drugs and then taking advantage of them when they passing out. We on none of you niggas' time. All of you fools can get it. Not the way that you want, because half of you guys are also gay. Not coming at gay people. I'm just saying we not coming at you that way. That's all I'm saying. You want to be gay, be gay. I'm getting off of the subject. Every time I make any kind of joke about any other people, they laugh at me. You make one joke about gay people, and all of a sudden, I got these motherfuckers following me around in the supermarket. Shit is crazy. You want to be treated like everybody else? Everybody else get jokes made about them periodically. The eyes are black. Fam, in my opinion, I don't think it's difficult to tell that most of these guys got something in them. And when I mean by something in them, I mean something that's not holy. Something that's not of Christ. Something that's not of the Most High in them. I don't think it's hard to tell. I bet you he stinks too. Not stinks like nose stink, but like his aura. I bet you his aura stinks. I bet you. I bet you. Because a lot of them, they spirits stink. You understand what I'm saying? At least, I don't know if anybody else. Anyway, I'm not even going to go into that. But I bet you he stinks. I bet you. Since we on DJ Akademiks, let me play something for y'all. Ain't that Act Man? That's Axe Man, right? Oh, fuck. I left out the thing. I might not be able to get back to it. Oh man, I wanted to play that for y'all. Sheesh. Somebody posted something that was just perfect. I got something else on Act. But somebody, look at these kids riding on top of the train. His whole account, whoever posted that initially, their whole account should just be fucking, look, kid got not, he fell off. He got hit on the thing and fell off. I think that if they find these kids subway surfing, I think they need to not just be arrested, but I think their homes need to be investigated. I think all of these kids that subway surfing, I think their homes need to be investigated. Because if your kid is out there subway surfing and riding on the top of trains and shit like that, I think that maybe they shouldn't be in your household anymore. I don't think that you're competent enough to raise adults, children to adults. I just don't think you're competent enough. I'm not saying give them to me. We're not talking about that type of shit. But I don't think you're competent enough. Your kids is out there trying to figure out ways to die. I think a lot of this is, and I'm gonna get off of this, we're not gonna stay on this topic, but I think a lot of this is, all of this started with the everybody gets a fucking trophy. That's what all of this started. Everybody gets a trophy. That's what all of this started. We got to go back to first place, second place, third place. Everything else, you just nothing. You're not nothing, but you're not getting nothing. When we go back to that and children's sports, I think a lot of this would be solved, because I think a lot of these kids, they just don't understand consequence. And not being successful is the first time you really start understanding consequence that you have to put in the work in order to be able to achieve. And I think these kids is growing up now where they don't have to try hard, and they're just, everybody's getting a trophy and everybody is winning. So they have no real concept or understanding of, you have to put in hard work. You have to have a strong mind. You have to, I want to get participation trophies. I want to get rid of them. That's literally what LeBron James is. And this is why I loved him when he first came into the league. But when I realized what LeBron James was, a participation athlete. As great as he is, as good as he is at everything, why in the hell are you trying to team up with other niggas so everybody could get a ring during your era? That's the difference between you and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was like, no, nigga, nobody is getting the ring while I'm playing it. I help it. That's the difference. That's the difference. LeBron James is trying to figure out how every player in the league could get a ring. Michael Jordan is saying, this is my time. If you're not on my squad with me, then you get nothing. And we don't want none of you niggas. On top of that, we don't want none of you. I wish I would have saved the damn thing. But I got another thing to show y'all real quick. So I came across this lady breaking down the situation that went on with DJ Akademiks. And I'm going to play a couple of clips from what she said so we can have a conversation. Just got to figure out which is the beginning and which is not the beginning. Here, hold on.
Blackburn, and Tyrone Blackburn is the attorney that represents Rodney Jones in one of the Diddy lawsuits, and Tyrone also represents the woman suing Nicki Minaj's husband for SS.
Hold on, that's not the beginning. I'm going to go to the one that is supposed to be the first one. This shit is just out of order. I hate when they download like this. Here we go.
Reported on a recently filed lawsuit against DJ Akademiks. She was gonna, I'm not at the door. She didn't expect, I'm not a lawyer, but Rolling Stone reported on a recently filed lawsuit against DJ Akademiks. So I went and got the full lawsuit to give you a recap. Trigger warning, this is graphic. So the lawsuit was filed by a woman whose name I'm probably going to mess up, but I believe she goes by Zia. Sorry if that's wrong. According to the lawsuit, Akademiks and Zia met online in 2021. They dated casually, and she would visit him occasionally at his house in New Jersey. After not having spoken to each other in about a year, AK invites Zia over to his house on July 16, 2022. The lawsuit alleges that before Zia arrived to AK's house, he informed two of his friends, who are also co-defendants in this case, that she was on different type of vibes. And
question: how can they know that he did that? Put it in the chat if you have a theory. How can they know what he said to his friends before she arrived?
Then the lawsuit references a social media post where AK said, quote, "Both maybe my friends took it the wrong way," because I remember she told me, she was like, "Yo, the girl you used to know, like, I'm on some bad girl vibes now." Right?
So I already just told y'all. DJ Akademiks gave this information himself to the public. He told everybody that he told his friends that she was on a different type of time. Now do you understand what I've been trying to tell y'all? This dude is not as smart as y'all think he is. And I've been saying this for years.
I'm not a lawyer, but Rolling Stone reported on a recently filed lawsuit against DJ Akademiks. So I went and got the full lawsuit to give you a recap. Trigger warning, this gets graphic. So the lawsuit was filed by a woman whose name I'm probably going to mess up, but I believe she goes by Zia. Sorry if that's wrong. According to the lawsuit, Akademiks and Zia met online in 2021. They dated casually, and she would visit him occasionally at his house in New Jersey. After not having spoken to each other in about a year, AK invites Zia over to his house on July 16, 2022. The lawsuit alleges that before Zia arrived to AK's house, he informed two of his friends, who are also co-defendants in this case, that she was on a different type of vibes. And then the lawsuit references a social media post where AK said, quote, "If maybe my friends took it the wrong way," because I remember she told me, she was like, "Yo, the girl you used to know, like, I'm on some bad girl vibes now." Basically, she was doing her thing. So just as she arrives to the house and one of AK's friends, John Doe #1, greets her after.
I want to say something, and I want to be clear about this. This nigga was raised by women. You know how y'all keep hearing these women say, if you was in the woods and you had to go come across a being, a woman, a being, a man, which one would you want to come across? And all these women saying bears. No, you want to come across a man that was raised by a man. This is not no disrespect to women, but I need for y'all to understand, he was raised by a woman, correct? Diddy makes a big deal about being raised by his mother, correct? Why do we find out like almost all of these individuals who do these terrible crimes against women, or allegedly are doing these terrible crimes against women, why do we keep finding out that they was raised by women? Why do we keep finding that out? I'm not saying that's an exclusive thing, but what I'm saying is because somebody just, and I know there has to be some out there, because somebody give me some of these dudes that were raised by men and decided to, they're just going to do terrible crimes against women. It's literally like that in freaking fiction also. Look at Norman Bates. How long ago was that movie written? So people know that this is a thing. Now, I have a theory. My theory is when there's no man in the house, you mess up the divine order. The divine order is God is the head of Jesus. Jesus is the head of man. Man is the head of woman. Woman is the head of child. If there's no man, that household can't make it to God because they can't make it to Jesus. Now, as a man, how much different is it when you date a woman that had a man in her life in contrast to one that was raised by a single mother? How much different is it? I'm going to tell you one of the biggest differences, in my opinion. Women that were raised with a man in the household, whether it's their father or anybody else, but just a man, a God-fearing man that I add, they're so much easier to work with. I'm not talking about running over anybody. I'm not talking making people do what you want them to do. We're not talking about that. I'm just talking about being a partner. If I'm wrong, put it in the chat. And I'm not talking about any specific demographics. I'm just saying in general. So please don't make this about, I'm talking about this minority or that majority. No, I'm just saying females in general. Why do we keep finding out that these dudes that treat these women terribly came from households that had matriarchies and not patriarchies? I need an explanation. DJ Akademiks, right? Raised in his grandmother's house, right? We all know his story, right? So he invites some woman over to his house, tells his friend she's on a different type of time, and then just leaves her there? Nobody else thinks that's a setup? I can't be the only one that thinks that that's a setup. Nope. Panama Holla says a lot of them watch those women get abused. Is that what you think happened? That sounds like an assumption. I'm making zero assumptions. I'm making zero assumptions. What you just said sounds like an assumption. So he watched his grandmother get abused? His grandmother. Now you see how that doesn't make any sense? Your comment. The problem I find is that people are always trying to figure out how every problem, every situation, negative situation associated with a woman is a man's fault. So women could do no wrong. Am I correct, Pamela? Women could do no wrong, right? Zero wrong. Never in the world has a woman has ever done wrong. Every single woman ever in the history of the world that is a single mother was abused. None of them have ever. No, you're right, Panama Holla. Why not? You know that woman that unalived her children and then put them in the freezer? That was a man's fault too. Right? You know the woman that went on vacation and just left her 8 and 9 year old at home? I don't even think they were 8 and 9. They could have been younger than that. At home while she went on vacation for a week. That was a man's fault also. No, you did say that. I just want everybody to understand how comical your comments are. They know not how much attention they should be paying to it. You basically every single woman that has ever raised a child on her own has been abused by a man, or at least a lot of them. None of them have any responsibility. This is why women don't believe that they have to be held responsible for their actions. I don't know if that's a chick, and I don't know if that's a dude. But this is why women don't believe they need to be held accountable for their actions. And they don't feel like they need to be. And this is not an attack on women. I know a lot of women that believe they need to be held accountable. A lot. Anyway, let's get back to what we're talking about. Next thing he's gonna say is that it was the woman's fault that something bad happened to her, because this is reverse day. We doing all of this is reverse day, right? I'm gonna not be responding back to what this now. I know what kind of comment you want. You say whatever comment you want, fam. I'm gonna be ignoring. I'm not responding back to them. In any regard. Why is it that all of these dudes that we find that are abusive to women were raised in a household by a woman? I'm going to tell you why. My belief. Because an emotional man is dangerous. A man who is emotional is dangerous. Men are not allowed to be overly emotional. Women, we need them to be emotional. That's one of the things that attract us to women. We need women to have a certain level of emotionalness, not overly emotional, obviously, but we need women to be emotional. Men are just more pragmatic. And we're supposed to be the problem solvers. So when you have a young boy growing up in a household where there is no man, he's not learning how to be a problem solver. He's learning how to be emotional. That's what I believe the problem is. Having nothing to do with anyone abusing anyone. What happened was this person assumed I was saying that women were abusing their children. I am not saying that. What I'm saying is that those young boys didn't learn how to be problem solvers. So therefore, their energy was then put into being emotional. Now you add that to the fact that you cannot get to God without Jesus, and you cannot get to Jesus without man. So no God-fearing man being that household was there to bring Jesus to the family, and therefore the family couldn't meet God. None of those things have to do with anyone being abusive. There are a ton of women out here that are doing the best that they can, and they're actually doing a pretty good job. And then their children are coming out into the world, and they're some of the worst people you could come across. Just so we can be clear, there's women out here fighting for their kids that haven't been abused, fighting for their kids, doing everything that they can. But the problem is they can't take their child to Jesus. So therefore, their child cannot get to God. That's simple. I kicked him because he didn't want to argue. I don't want to argue. I don't want to argue. You kicked, by the way. I don't want to argue. I think I just made myself clear. I'm not saying that women are doing anything wrong. I'm saying that there's the absence of the Lord in the household. I'm saying that women are emotional creatures, and we need them to be. We literally need them to be. I grew up in a household, the majority of my childhood, when someone was there, that was just men. There was no caring. There was no love. It was absent. So I'm telling you, we need women to be emotional. I'm not going to go back and forth arguing with you, fam. You out of here. Trying to hijack my show. You out of here.
Need to wait for academics after he went to the
Hold on. I'm trying to give it to you in the right order.
Didn't expect anybody else was going to be at the house, just her and AK, but she went in anyway since she didn't suspect anything suspicious. Lawsuit says Zia goes into the kitchen, and there's another man, John Doe number 2, that's already in the kitchen. It's worth noting that there apparently was a neighborhood power outage when she arrived, so the three of them are just sitting in the kitchen talking. The men start offering her a drink, and at first she declines because she says she usually makes her own drinks when she's at AK's house, but eventually, because of their insistence, she lets them make her a drink. At this point, the lawsuit says,
I just want to say this. This goes for anyone. Whenever anybody insists I do something, I want to do it less. I don't care how much I should be able to trust you. Don't even care.
Zia starts asking where Akademiks is. One of the men goes to look for him and then comes back to say that he was going to be coming soon. The lawsuit says that Zia didn't go look for Akademiks herself because, again, the power was out and the house was completely dark. And she trusted that this other guy had went and looked for him. At some point, the power turns back on, and John Doe number 1 asks Zia if she wants to get into the hot tub. She agrees and notes that based on the men's actions and gestures, it seemed like they were going to be leaving soon. So her wait for Akademiks. After she got into the hot tub by herself, the lawsuit says that John Doe number 1 also gets in the hot tub, while John Doe number 2 her to take shots and also pacing around the hot tub. So eventually the lawsuit says that Zia begins feeling weird, lightheaded, dizzy, and like her body was on fire. John Doe number 2 allegedly gets more alcohol for her and forcibly pours it into her mouth. Zia says,
okay, so if any of this is provable, Akademiks, it's over. Can't nobody save you. But that's not the most interesting.
That she was disoriented, had trouble breathing, and struggled to get out of the pool for fear that she could drown. Once she's out of the hot tub, the lawsuit says that she is attacked by John Doe number 1 as she laid on the concrete by the pool. John Doe number 2, allegedly, then comes over and joins in on the attack. Zia says that she was in and out of consciousness and doesn't remember coming into the house, but she was woken up around 4 a.m. in what she believes was AK's bedroom, where he then also attacked her relentlessly, according to this lawsuit. It's actually pretty graphic, so I'm not going to go into the details of all of this. The next.
This is from the lawsuit that is currently against DJ Akademiks. For this man to go on his live or public anywhere and talk about this particular case, and this is narrative that is inside of the court papers, I can't even tell you the level of stupidity he is. So I'll just break down what she said so far real quick before I get to the next part. Akademiks hits up. They've been talking for quite some time. They haven't seen each other in about a year. So he has not seen her. Whatever the reason is, they contact one another. He says, come over, not a problem. He pays for the Uber. She gets to his house. She's expecting only Ack to be there. She's already primed him. She already let Ack know that he can hit. How did she say that? When she said she's on a different type of time. She already let Ack know what she was coming over for. She was coming over to have sex with him. When she gets there, he's not there. His 2 friends open the door. Lets her in. There is a neighborhood blackout going on. So therefore, there's no need or reason for her to walk around the damn house. It's a neighborhood blackout. So she's not walking around the whole house looking for anybody. Right? They sit in the kitchen. They talk for a time. The whole entire time they're offering her drinks, she finally relents. She doesn't usually drink she usually makes her own drinks, but it's the lights and everything is out. So she allows for homeboy to make the drinks, right? So she doesn't want to walk around. Probably a little scared. After she drinks some of the drinks, they got her. So the next thing they do is all of a sudden the lights come back on. When the lights come back on, they ask her, you know, do you want to go out to the pool? She says, yeah. You want to go to the hot tub? It doesn't sound like something that a female would say no to. Why is this important? Because you have to take off your clothes yourself to get into the hot tub. She goes into the hot tub. She's expecting these men to leave, just so we can be clear. She is not expecting for these men to stay there. She's expecting for these men to leave. Their mannerisms, everything that they're doing is like they're about to leave. She's expecting them to leave. She gets into the hot tub. All of a sudden, one of them gets in with her. The other one is skulking around the hot tub. At some point, she had a couple of more shots. She starts feeling woozy. Her body is on fire. They ask her, does she want any more? She says no. They then start forcing it down her throat. Pouring it down her throat. Forcing her to drink. At some point, she's then dragged across the concrete or outside of the jacuzzi. One man starts assaulting her, and then the other man joins in. That's the word. This is the paperwork of the lawsuit. Why in the hell would DJ Akademiks go and talk at all about this particular case? I wouldn't even have brought up that I was getting sued. I gotta find the next one because these shits is out of order.
Lawyer?
Not that one.
What's up? The lawsuit says that Akademiks asked her if she knew what happened.
Oh, then we could be clear. She's then inside of she wakes up and she just happens to be in his bedroom at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Wakes up. The lawsuit says that Akademiks asked her if she knew what happened, to which she replied no, and then he showed her a small trash can that had vomit and some wrappers in it. Based on the two wrappers, Zia said she was able to begin piecing together what happened. According to the lawsuit, AK then showed Zia surveillance footage from one of the attacks, in which, according to her, she appeared to be laying lifeless. Zia said AK then told her that his mom was on the way, so he got her a lift to go home. The lawsuit says that Zia later learned from police that AK disposed of several items, including bed sheets, at the dumpster near his office, quote, presumably attempting to destroy the evidence of what happened. So she is in the lift on her way home, and she reaches back out to AK to continue the conversation about what happened. And the lawsuit says that AK sent her a screenshot of the attack when Zia was laid out on the concrete in front of the pool with John Doe number 1 and John Doe number 2. Zia says she repeatedly asked for the rest of the footage.
What's up with these dudes? What's up with these dudes? These people commit crimes, alleged crimes on people. And then they're just so brazen because they've done this so many times and gotten away with it.
Suggest that she go get tested as he as well, which she contends is proof that he also.
Hold on.
And he was the one who actually informed her of what took place that night. Zia then says that Akademiks defamed her again the following.
Hold on, not that one. Trying to get these in order.
He is Tyrone Blackburn.
Okay.
Refused to send it to her, but he did it suggests that she will get tested, as would he as well, which she contends is proof that he also participated in the attack. So Zia gets a kit done. Photos of her bruises and scars are taken, and police asked her to participate in a recorded wire call with Akademiks. The lawsuit says that on that recorded call, AK graphically recounted and admitted to engaging with Zia. One of the images that Akademiks allegedly sent to Zia is included in this lawsuit. And shout out, trigger warning, photos of her bruises and a screenshot of a text exchange between her and Akademiks is also included. On to reference a December 30th social media post that Akademiks made.
Just so we could be clear, those are two admissions that Akademiks made, that he was a part of whatever the assault was, the alleged assault, and also him trying to throw away sheets. Now, if her assault happened outside, the other two guys and Akademiks had nothing to do with it, then why would he have to throw sheets away? He had to throw his bed sheets away because presumably the assault continued upstairs in his bedroom where he was.
Where he mentions his house being raided because of a SA claim that was done by other people, not him. In that post, Akademiks, according to Zia, he blamed her by claiming that she voluntarily engaged with multiple people that evening, despite knowing that that was false, based on the text exchange that he already had with Zia, where she stated that.
So basically, the lying always makes everything worse. They found his DNA in her. Yes, Tyson Garcia, that is 100% what I'm hearing. They found his DNA, allegedly. They found his DNA in her. I don't know what to tell you.
One who actually informed her of what took place that night. Zia then says that Akademiks defamed her again the following day in another post in which he says, quote, if everything or anything you're saying is true, he, meaning Akademiks, would have been charged, but nothing happened. No case, no nothing. Zia says that since her story has come out, several other women have come forward with similar stories about Akademiks befriending them, grooming them, inviting them to his house, getting them intoxicated, and then assaulting them. Several other women have come forward and said that Akademiks contacted them when they were minors, forged a fake friendship, groomed them until they were 18, and then attempted to sleep with them. The lawsuit says, upon information and belief, Mr. Allen, meaning the Akademiks, foolishly attributes his lack of arrest or prosecution as some indication that he and his friends are clear, but nothing can be further from the truth. And so she is suing for negative infliction of emotional distress, defamation, SA, and negligence. Now, a few things to say before I Blackburn, and Tyrone Blackburn is the attorney that represents Rodney Jones. Zia's attorney is Tyrone Blackburn, and Tyrone Blackburn is the attorney that represents Rodney Jones in one of the Diddy lawsuits. Tyrone also represents the woman suing Nicki Minaj's husband for SA. Second thing, yes, this is a civil lawsuit, and civil lawsuits are for money. Prosecutors file criminal charges and put people in jail. People file civil lawsuits and get money. So if AK were to be charged criminally in this instance, that would be completely up to a prosecutor. She can't make them charge him with a crime. And lastly, if you, for some reason, care to read this very graphic lawsuit, hit the link in my bio to join my Patreon. I have it here specifically for people who just...
All I want to say is this. Woo! Act is done. I'm sorry. For all of the Akademiks fans out there, he's done. For all of you rappers and everybody else that have been, I'm going to say why he's done in 2 seconds. But for all you rappers and anybody else who he has secrets for, you're done. He's telling everything. What is Act going to do when the other two dudes that was there turn witness against him? They only need one. What is Act going to do when the other dudes that was there turn witness against him? They only need one. What is Act going to do when one of these people turn witness and basically say that they had a conversation about doing this to the girl before she got there. What is Akademiks going to do when during the civil trial, multiple different women get on the stand? He can't settle at this point. She doesn't want it settled. They already tried to settle it out of court, and he didn't want to do that. Tyson Garcia says, Act better hope he has that pool footage and that he wasn't involved. It doesn't matter if he was involved during the pool situation or not. If one of those individuals turn evidence against him, he's done. They only need one. All they need is for somebody to admit that there was an intent to do this to this girl before she got there. That's it. We're not going to see Act for 20 years. He's done. And just so we can be clear, his own words. His own words got him cooked. With obviously all the other evidence is just, if it exists, is absolutely insane. But his own words. Tyson Garcia said they're both going to turn on Act. I agree. I agree. If I was the lawyer for those other two dudes, I just say what it is. Look, I'm gonna go talk to the prosecution. Pardon me. Because this is gonna become a criminal matter at some point or another. And when it becomes a criminal matter, somebody says, what am I gonna do when he wins his case? I'm gonna report about how he won the case. What would you expect me to do? I'm gonna take you up off of there because you're an idiot. Yeah, I don't do the thing where I'm arguing with people. So if you're just coming here to argue with me instead of have a discussion, I'm probably just going to kick you. So if you want to have a discussion, fine. But I don't do the arguing thing. Copy? I don't do the arguing thing. So if you just come in here to argue, I'm probably just going to kick you. But if you come in here to have a discussion or you come in here to converse with somebody else in an argument, not me, then I'm going to leave it alone. But if you come in here to argue with me, I'm just going to kick you. I'm just being honest with you. You can do what you want to do, though. I have no control over what you and your keyboard does. I'm assuming the insult comes next. Back about to tell Drake stories to get less time. I don't think Akademiks can tell stories about anyone, but if there was somebody that he could tell stories about, it maybe Drake, maybe some other people that individuals don't know. He's not going to be able to say anything about Diddy. They got Diddy rights, just like they got him dead to rights. They have him dead to rights with his own words because he went online and said things that are factually incorrect, or he said things that can be proven to be incorrect. So he's done, in my opinion. Is it going to be next week? I don't think so. Is it going to be next month? I don't think so. Maybe be a year from now. Maybe it's 2 years from now. I don't know. But he's done. And he could have settled this out of court. He chose not to. And remember, they probably will take this to trial even more because he said defamatory things about them. So that's another reason why you be quiet. He said things that were defamatory about them. So I would, especially about Blackburn, Tyrone Blackburn. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tyrone Blackburn, in any regard, no matter what his client does, decide that he wants to hold Akademiks responsible for that. I think he's one of the reasons why Drake was getting all that bad advice. I think he was the one that was giving Drake all that bad advice, man. Drake was just getting bad advice after bad advice after bad advice. And I was telling you, Drake was getting bad advice in real time. So this is not me just saying the thing after the fact. They were just giving Drake bad advice. Act about to be made an example out of. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because the feds is coming for him now, not state. And just so we could be clear, the simple fact that he paid for her Uber to go from one state to another state, and then they had sex with her, that's a crime in itself, a federal crime, which he already admitted to. It's called trafficking. Absolutely, Tyson. See, it's called trafficking. I like when we have the people in here that are in here often because I think I'm pretty clear when I be explaining things, and I just don't say a thing. I've done explained it like a ton of fucking times. So now when we're having one of these discourses, like, you know what I'm saying? People that's been in here before, you don't have to ask stupid questions. You right up on time with me. You understand what I'm saying? You don't got to ask stupid questions and say stupid things. You're right on time with me. So I could just say a thing and we could just continue the discussion. I don't got to stop for 20 minutes to try to explain something to people who aren't even wanting. That's why I just said I just kick people. I'm not doing that. Not doing that. We're not doing that. Tyson Garcia says, Act going down takes heat off of Diddy. So you think this might be a setup? You think that this might be a setup? If so, I don't know why the guy that's suing Diddy would get involved. We haven't heard about Diddy ever since the beef with Drake and Kendrick started. Up until today, I spoke about it. A couple of other people have been speaking about it consistently. Shout out to Tissa Tells. But yeah, basically Diddy has been dropping off of the radar. And like we were talking about earlier, the dude, one of his co-defendants just flipped. Remember Tissa Tells was like, she heard that they might be indictment with Diddy in like, I think she was like 30 days. This was like way longer than 30 days ago. And I said, well, I think she's right. There is an indictment coming for him, obviously. But I was like, I don't think it's going to be that soon. Remember when I said that? I said maybe about 3 months. Remember when I said that? I'm just saying. Remember I told y'all that? Shout out to Tissa Tells. This isn't me going at her. Love her channel, love her platform. And damn, she's beautiful. So I'm not going at her. I'm just saying what it is. Moment she was like 30 days, Diddy's gonna be indicted. And I was like, Tissa Tells said this. Tissa Tells says this. How you say her name? Tissa? Anyway, she said this, but I was like, I don't think it's gonna be that soon. I think it's gonna at least be like 3 months. From when she had said that previously, and it's been probably a month and a half, probably a month and a week. Told ya. Remember I said that, right? 30 days is too soon. Because I personally don't see enough for them to definitely get an indictment. I just don't see enough. And that's why I believe that the feds is going to flip one of Akademiks' people. They're going to flip one. I promise you. They're going to flip one. I promise you. No, I didn't say Diddy got indicted. I didn't say that at all. Tissa Tells said that Diddy was going to be indicted in 30 days. And I was saying it's going to be longer than 30 days. He has not been indicted yet. Time to eat. I'm right often, and also often I'm right when I tell you when something is going to happen. I'm usually right about that also. So I could definitely gonna tell. Tyson Garcia says Act definitely can tell. His folks gonna tell. Gonna be a hot summer. Force, we need you at the Act trial. That's gonna be in Jersey if there's a trial. But if there is a trial and it is in Jersey, absolutely. But I don't know where he filed that. It depends where dude filed that. But it's also gonna be a federal charge. But it depends on where they filed that. But this happened in Jersey. If I can get out to those trials, I'll go. But if I can't, I can't. But I would definitely make it to the Act trial. 100%. 100%. He might not want me there, though. Just so we could be clear. They said he befriends these young girls before they're 18 just so he can sleep with them after they turn 18. What in the fuck? Part of my language. 2024 has been a wild year so far. Act wanted to be big. He made it now. Me too. Man. What in the hell? Groomer tactics. I be worrisome about even befriending at all in any capacity. I have a different issue growing up than Ack had. I had a different issue. And my issue was when I was in my 20s, I looked like a teen. I'm going to say that again. When I was in my 20s, I looked like a teen. So I did not, like, I've always had a history of not befriending teenage girls. When I was in my 20s, I looked like a teen. I grew up in the Bronx. Do you know how aggressive chicks in the Bronx is? Chicks in the Bronx is aggressive, fam. The only place, that's what I'm trying to explain. The only place that I ever, like, if I'm at an event and I meet somebody, and it's just because we're at the event, like if I'm playing basketball and there's like girls there or whatever, I don't really talk with them that much, but I do basketball conversation. If it looks like there's anything else going on, I don't talk to them. When I see them outside of the basketball court, I generally don't talk to them. I don't talk to them. Sha Brim says the Bronx is sweet compared to the Bronx you grew up in. That's a fact. Fam, the Bronx, hold on, Sha, am I not telling the truth? Especially back in like the 90s, girls was aggressive, fam. Like they was aggressive. And I'm not saying they were whores. I'm not saying that either. I'm talking about even the faithful females, the females that were faithful, they were aggressive. They come up to you and talk to you, fam. Every damn time they see you. Shout out to Tyrone Church. Every damn time they see you. And I'm not talking about the whores. I'm not talking about the young, fast little chicks. I'm talking about just if she likes you, fam. She could be a whole virgin. If she liked you, fam, she was in your face every freaking opportunity. And fam, is there anybody from the fucking 90s in the Bronx? Early 2000s in the Bronx? Am I saying anything wrong? They were in your face, fam. I'm not even talking about New York females are aggressive. But them chicks from in the Bronx in that era was different. Bronx and Harlem, they both was basically rolling the same. They was different, fam. They was in your face. There was no, and it was, you couldn't walk past them. You understand? So that's why, another reason why I'm like the way that I am. Like I'm not over aggressive when trying to holler at a shorty, because from the world I grew up in, if a female wanted to date you, she made you know you better come over here. We're gonna talk every day I see you. That's a fact. Every day they see you, they're gonna be in your face, fam. And I was good at basketball, could rap, handsome, knew how to dress, popular. Every day they see you, they're gonna be in your face, man. Every day. It was different. And like I said, I am not talking about the fast girls. Yeah, they was in your face too. But I'm saying just the girls in general. Period. They was shooting they shot. Now we live in this new world. There was too many simps, man. The simps fucked everything up. I'm telling you. I was complaining about the simps back then. The simps fucked everything up, man. The simpy ass niggas. The over emotional niggas out here that they can't holler at a shorty, so all they could do is talk bad about a nigga. They don't got no game. Or their whole entire game revolves about hating on some nigga that she like. That's their whole game. Them niggas everything up. Them niggas. I don't even blame the women. Them niggas. They fucked everything up. Everything. Absolutely everything. It was just different. It was different day and age, fam. If she liked you, fam, you couldn't walk past her without her talking to you. You understand? You couldn't walk past her. Now it's like a big secret or some shit. Like, if a chick like you, it's a secret. Anything else y'all want to talk about? I know I started the show late. Anything else y'all want to talk about? Put it in the chat. You know how I kept telling y'all, if they want the WNBA to be more popular, they have to have good-looking females playing. And I say this sometimes, and people come at me saying I'm sexist or whatever. Then explain to me this. Explain this to me. So you mean women deciding to look beautiful instead of deciding to try to look tough? Women deciding to look beautiful sells tickets? The thing I've been saying this whole entire time. Whatever. Anything else y'all want to talk about before we get up out of here? Agree with you. They need to stop trying to get their own identity. I would have uniforms, a couple of uniforms that would just be, you know, they'll have their leggings on under it, you know, like the stretch shorts and all that. But I have a couple of uniforms just be dresses, because we're trying to get young girls interested in the WNBA the way that we have young boys interested in the NBA. Correct? So I'd have a couple of skirts, pardon me. I'd have a couple of uniforms. If I owned the NBA, a WNBA team, I'd have at least one alternate that was a skirt. I'm sorry, I would. And it'd be cute. And it'd be meant to be cute and tough at the same time, but it'd be cute and meant to be cute. And tough at the same time. And just like they have the headbands and everything, I'll have somebody design a headband that looks like a tiara. And whatever is one of the girls that like wearing headbands, they got a lot of hair. They wear headbands a lot of the times or whatever. They'll have shit in their head making them look like princesses out there balling. I would lean right into that. So young girls can feel comfortable being sporty and feeling like a girl. There's no reason why girls can't play sports and feel like a girl. I hate this idea that the best female players are like, gay or in the other women. I hate that idea. I hate that concept. I grew up in a neighborhood where we didn't have a ton of females that played, but we had a couple. And the majority of them that played, they were straight. They weren't in the chicks. They were in the dudes. They just like playing basketball. Were there some that, was part of the LGBTQ community? Yeah. I remember we used to have this one girl that used to play football with us back in the day. Kelsey Plum. I'm going to look her up right now. What else? BX Rich says they need to get female rappers on board. Yeah, go get people like Ice Spice though. Don't go get I get whoever you could get, I guess. But yeah, why not? I just like Ice Spice, obviously. Yeah, Kelsey Plum is well, she's pretty as shit. Hell yeah, she's pretty. Is she Latina? I mean, her last name is Plum, so I doubt it, but she looked like she might be Latina a little. Nope, definitely in. She's pretty as shit. I get what you're saying, Team Moto. And I'm pretty sure there's more of them that don't want to wear skirts than that do want to wear skirts. But we're talking about marketing, right? I'm just only talking about marketing. That's it. I mean, that's all I'm talking about. Ice Spice has already sold her soul. Yep, that's a fact. If she hasn't sold her soul already, she's in the running. She's Irish. Oh, that's why. My daughter's mother's Irish. So yes, that could be it. My daughter's mother's Irish. Yeah. Yeah, my daughter's mother's Irish. I'm in the Irish chicks. I mean, when I first met her, she was catered. Right. I mean, that's the easiest way to get a nigga to act right. You cater to him. That's the easiest way. All of this other shit that women is trying to do, y'all just be thinking we doing shit we not doing. That's all it really be most of the time. And then the dudes that'll do y'all right, y'all not interested in those guys. Y'all interested in the weirdo ass niggas. And then weirdo shit happen and y'all get mad and y'all blame everybody. But you won't stop dating the weirdo ass niggas. They just had Lotto show to that Reese game. I like Lotto. I like her a lot. I think she's prettier than Ice Spice. Actually, I think she's prettier. And she can actually rap. And if I had to choose between the two, I probably would just take Ice Spice because of whatever. But I think Lotto's prettier. I think Lotto's prettier. I do. And if I was I choose Lotto. Okay, so I think Lotto gets plastic surgery. I think she gets like the shit to take out her cellulite and put it in different parts of her body. So that's why I was saying I would choose Ice Spice. But I also think Lotto comes off to me as the type of female that when you dating her, she treats you like she stays as she wants to be the woman in the relationship and she wants to date a nigga that's the man in the relationship. Like we got a lot of situations now where we have women that they don't want to be the woman in the relationship. They want to be the man in the relationship. Like even if they want you to be the man in the relationship, they also want to be the man right along with you. And that's why I think a lot of our relationships don't work in the hood. You understand what I'm saying? Because too many chefs in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Too many cooks in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think you have that problem with Lotto. I think you might have that problem with Ice Spice, but I also think Ice Spice is just so much more feminine than Lotto. Like super feminine, and I love femininity. Like that wins me over damn near 100% of the time. So, you know, that along with not having any plastic surgery that I know about would make me, you know, if all other things was relatively equal, choose Ice Spice. But Lotto is definitely the prettier girl. But I definitely think that if Lotto wasn't, you know, I think that she's getting, you know, help from the doctors. And if she wasn't, I think she'd be a fat girl. Because I also want to date a female that eats good, because I want to eat right too. I don't, all of this eating like you in jail and you ain't in jail, that's not a flex to me. Know how to make a jail meal, that's not a flex to me. Please stop trying to encourage our people to be okay with eating jail meals. Right? I've had to eat struggle meals also, but let's not do that. I'm going to say this is some real shit. So when I first came back, when I first got out of Rikers, I was locked up for a little while, whatever, right? So when I first got out of jail, I wasn't in prison, I was in jail. So when I first got out of jail, I'm not going to lie to you, I came home, my money was tight. I was living with my pops. My money was super tight. I ain't really had no money like that. You know what I'm saying? And I was making jail meals like a motherfucker. But the minute I did not have to make any more jail meals, I didn't. And I was making them like you make them in jail, nigga. Getting a bag of chips, crushing the bitch up. Getting the noodles, crushing the bitch up, throwing it in there, throwing the fucking shit in there, throwing everything I want to put into the bag. You know what I'm saying? Boiling the water, pouring the water into the bag, letting the bag sit there while the shit cook. I was making jail meals like a motherfucker. You understand? But I don't think that that's a flex. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think that's a flex. And it pisses me off when these people who have all of these means lean into that, you know, lean into that. It pisses me off. And I probably dated her hair she wasn't a redhead, but she had really light brown hair. My daughter's mother had really, really light brown hair, so it kind of looked orange. So that's probably another thing that Ice Spice kind of has over Lotto for me. I like orange hair on a woman, especially when it's natural. The gingers, I'm in the gingers. Okay, my fault. I'll open up Instagram and there's like chicks walking around. So I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna let y'all go though. Everybody have a blessed day. I'm gonna make sure that we are doing it live tonight, even if there's a Knicks game tonight, because I don't think this game I don't think I'm gonna be able to watch this game because I don't think it's gonna be on Cinemax. I don't think it's gonna be on HBO Max because they're away. But I'm gonna go check right now to make sure whether it's on HBO Max or not. If the game is not on HBO Max, then obviously we won't be watching it. The next Knicks game on HBO Max is gonna be. Well, we don't know if it's gonna happen yet, but this one is not on HBO Max. I'm so upset. You know what? Let me not say that there's gonna be a live tonight because I might just go to a bar and watch it. I might need to be able to buy a drink or two and go watch it. So I'm not 100% sure. Y'all will be finding out later. Game's gonna be like on NBC or something, so that's why I can't see it. If it was on ABC, I could see it. I think that's how it goes. With that being said, I love y'all. Everybody, have a blessed day. Go do something out there in the world worth doing. Let's see what the word is real quick before we get out of here. Matthew chapter 28, verse 19. The word of the day, Matthew chapter 28, verse 19. Go ye therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen. Go out there, do good in the world. And when you do this good in the world, stamp God's name on it. Let people know that you came in the name of the Most High through Christ. We're doing all of the things. And also, shout out to everybody that drops donations when we're not on live. I hope I said that in the beginning of the show, because I try to say that in the beginning of the show, especially when people have been doing it. So shout out to everyone that gives donations when we're not on live. I'll just be assuming that y'all watching the show after the fact, and I say some dope shit, and then that's why the donation comes. That's what I'd be assuming. Like, I don't think nobody's just sitting around like, hey, what about that Jack Frost? Let me send. I don't think that's what's happening. I think that people were just like watching the show and, you know, in replay or some shit. Or y'all watching one of the 10-minute videos or something, and you're like, hey, I like what's going on over here. So for everybody that does that, I appreciate y'all. And we are going back to sponsored videos. So when you start seeing the 10-minute videos, they're going to be sponsorship in the videos. And as soon as I get some more title cards made up, I'm going to be putting sponsorships for everything that we're doing over here, because I appreciate everybody, and I'm very happy for you guys to be a part of what we're doing. So we're all going back to sponsored videos and things as such, because we used to do that a lot back in the day, and I know a lot of y'all love that, and we're definitely going to go back to that. Now, with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, join the notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. And that's all I got on this one.